We are past the halfway point of 2014. So, in your mind, what has happened so far that stands as your moment of the year? Both, and we're talking specifically WWE and/or TNA. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Harrison. All right, Harrison.
Legitimately, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first there, Joe?
Go ahead. Nope, Garvin's going to be that kind of dick.
All right, fine. My moment of 2014 is, well, it's a series of moments. I'm actually going to bend the rules a little bit and say it's a feud. It's Wyatt versus Cena. If I have to pick a moment out of those two, it would be WrestleMania 30, that match between them. That was a feud that was probably my favorite feud of probably for the past couple of years, and it's because there were so many layers to it. These two guys, you had Wyatt, who was essentially not really untested, but he was kind of catapulted in the main event pretty quickly, and he held his own with John Cena playing counterpart. And the thing I love about it most is that the fact of the matter was John Cena had so much angst directed at him from the fans chanting Cena sucks, and Wyatt gave them a voice. And I think for that reason, all of those people instantly became huge marks for Wyatt, and it helped catapult his career. And I can't think of anybody else I can really think of that could play that so well without getting swallowed up into the Cena mythos, so to speak, because he's such a huge character in WWE. So for me, I only hope that they're going to go back and pick this feud up and keep going back to it maybe 2 or 3 more times, because these two were amazing together. And it upsets me that the only thing that I think can really slow it down is when Cena inevitably retires. So 2014, this feud, and specifically that match at WrestleMania, definitely, so far, 2014, it's the moment.
Okay. So can I go, or are we going to put Nick in front of me and then Garvin in front of me too? No? Okay. This one isn't exactly a best moment of the year, but it's a best possible scenario given. Daniel Bryan's neck injury. It sucks that it happened, but look at what we're getting right now. I mean, we had the rise of Daniel Bryan, which was awesome. That started last year, so we're not going to qualify for this year. Well, I guess we could because he won at WrestleMania, but now we're getting the rise of Roman Reigns, it seems to be, to the main event. He's in the main event at a pay-per-view.
Battleground.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view. And I like the fact that we're seeing more talent, more younger talent being elevated. It's a guy who's got a lot of potential, and I like the fact that they're going to try and use him in the main event. He may not stick around there for very long. They might want to do other stuff with him, but at least they're giving it a shot, and I like that. You know, it's another young guy getting into that realm, and they can test him now and determine if they're going to be able to use him in that area in the future, because look at the other guys in the main event. You got John Cena, who is becoming more injury prone. He's not going to be in the ring forever. Randy Orton, hello shoulders. I mean, who will the fuck? Kane's the other one in the match, right? The Battleground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Kane's not going to be around forever. He's nearing the end of his career. You got to get guys in that picture and believably in that picture. As long as it's not fucking Sheamus, I think we're going to be okay.
Nick?
My standout moment of the year, it's not a match or feud, it's more of a business decision, and that's on TNA. Their decision to put Bound for Glory in Japan this year. That says a lot to me about what TNA is willing to do to try and get to that next level, to try and be taken seriously by wrestling fans, I guess. Japan is largely an untapped market as far as American mainstream wrestling goes. And the fact that the WWE has never gone to any length to try to change that in the 50-plus years it's been in existence, it's kind of hard to understand, because you look at products like New Japan, All Japan, the dozens of other promotions that are over there, and you can see the Japanese wrestling market is it's not huge, but it's lively. And if you've got fans over there, they're essentially fans for life, unless you do something so incredibly heinous to turn them away. TNA establishing its biggest pay-per-view of the year in that market, I think it can only pay off for them, unless they do something so incredibly stupid to screw that up. You'd have to do a lot to make that happen, and I don't think TNA could do that. I think TNA is going to make that happen and make it work for them.
It's definitely a risk for sure.
Yeah, I mean, going overseas at all is a risk to some degree.
Yeah, who knows if you're going to get the ability to come back.
All right, so let's look at what's being talked about in live chat. We've got Shield versus Wyatt at Elimination Chamber. We also have Drax Swagger turning face exactly the way that Diva Jill called it. Fans fighting for Daniel Bryan, Eric Young winning the TNA World Championship. And the end of the streak. Those are all top moments. And really, I'm just looking at the list that I had come up with is basically the same thing. Streak broke and Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania moment. The Shield breakup. That was a big moment as well. I think for me though, the moment of the year, just because it seems it showed that the WWE is actually listening to their audience and how we're reacting to different things, and they are embracing the fact that so many of us are behind the Wyatt family and giving the Wyatt family more mic time and really showing that we're all standing there with our camera phones like lighters in the darkness for Bray Wyatt. I think it's nice to see WWE embrace a reaction like that instead of fight it like it seemed like they were doing with Daniel Bryan or even CM Punk at a certain point. So that is good to see. As far as on the TNA side, to me, nothing really major has happened. I mean, sure, we got the announcement that Six-Sided Ring's coming back. That's kind of cool, but that's going to pay off and be a big moment when we see it and see how it impacts, the product. Nick, as far as the whole Japan deal with Bound for Glory, I'm not willing to call that the moment of the year until we see how it looks and just look at that show in general. I think TNA in a lot of ways has so much room to improve this year. I think most of it's been kind of middle of the road for the most part, but EY winning the title for sure was my moment of the year for them. It was good to see.
I think TNA's deal with not having as many choices for moments of the year is it's not a question of quality, or at least not directly. It's the same problem they have with regular TV as opposed to pay-per-views and trying to differentiate between them. They don't. They put on pay-per-view caliber matches every night, and that does kind of have an end result of things kind of blur together. You don't really get those standout moments like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for the most part, I have been generally entertained by TNA. I think TNA has done some good things, but there's nothing that sets one thing apart from another, except for the EY. That's the only thing to me that stands up is that EY finally got that opportunity, and the fans were totally behind it. And he got the title, and that was cool. It was a good moment. So,